Hi everyone, it's Mari here from Mari Clark Creations. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm participating in a video hop where we are going to be creating with Allison Davis sketches. And this month we are working with the Creating with Sketches, how to adapt and customize sketches to fit your needs. We're working with a two-page sketch number 1, and I'm going to be working with a gorgeous poppy and pear collection from American Crafts. I've chosen these two papers to work with today for the left and right side of my project, my scrapbooking layout. And like I said, this is going to be a double pager. I'm going to start off here by removing the UPC strips from each of the different papers here. And I am using the new Tim Holtz trimmer. I am going to be linking up in the description box below to all of the different tools and supplies that I'm using today, including Allison's sketch bundle. So make sure that you check that out. I love this stripe paper. I think it's so beautiful. It's got those gorgeous stripes on the one side and then the confetti on the other side. I really love this paper as well. I thought that it coordinated the solid side with the tone on tone dot, just coordinated so nicely with that rainbow stripe on the right side. So I'm going to be going with those two papers. And I'll just get this strip taken off here. And I just wanted to talk about the option that I chose. What I find so interesting about Allison's collections of sketches, including this one, is that this particular sketch had 25 different options, which I think is incredible. And I chose option number 3. And with that option, we've got the more solid paper on the left and then a stripe on the other side, which I love. And I'm going to also be using a strip of this really pretty paper with the blue side there as just a kind of like a strip that's going to be a common element on each side of my double page layout. Now I'm going to trim this to 3/4 of an inch, and then you'll see that I'm going to do that twice, and I'll use one of these strips on the left side, the far left, and one on the far right. And like I said, that's just going to bring a common element into each of the different sides of my double page layout here. So that's where that is going to go on the left side of my double pager, and then I'll cut another strip and this strip will go on the right side. This trimmer is amazing. If you haven't had a chance to try this one out, it works really, really well. I'm really loving it. And so yeah, really happy with that purchase with that tonic trimmer from Tim Holtz. So there you can just see where I'm going to place that on the right side. I'm using this scrapbook.com dot runner here, which is another really great product. This is a repositionable tape runner, so it allows me to just position this paper down onto my bottom piece here, my tone on tone, and get it positioned without worrying about it tearing my paper if I don't get it into the exact right spot. So I'm just going to line that up so that it's nice and flush with the side and the top of the page there. And I'll do the exact same thing with that stripe paper over on the far right. I'm just lifting that up to make sure that that is nice and straight and on there in just the right spot, and then I'll repeat that exact same process for the right side of my double page layout. So I'll get that repositionable adhesive on there again, and just really love this color of blue. I think it's super, super pretty, and it's just going to be that common strip on each edge of my layout. So I'll get that into position. And then what I'm going to do is take this over to my sewing machine. And this is definitely a suggestion in Allison's sketch as well. I'm going to do a little bit of machine stitching on each of those different blue strips just to add a little bit of texture and detail. Now I am going to show you that up close here in this next frame as we work towards this little transition. And then I'm just going to show you here that little bit of stitching that I've added on that blue paper. So like how that looks, I think it just adds that little bit of nice detail. And then of course it is a common detail on each side of the layout. So those are all ready to go. Those will be my base pages for the different sides of my double page layout. Now I am going to trim down some 8x6 papers here for photo mats. And the photos on the left side are 2 3x3s, 1 4x4, and 1 2x2. So on the left side of my double pager, I'm actually going to get 4 photos. Now, what I really love about the options that Allison shows you, and like I said, for this particular sketch, there's 25 different options of how you can adapt and change and customize the sketch. You can add more photos. So she's got some of the different adaptations have way more photos on each of these 2 pages than I'm using here, which is incredible. So if you're a person that just really loves to have tons of photos on your double page layouts, which is smart if you really want to make use of all of the different pages in your albums, she gives you those options in these sketches. So if you have not seen her sketch bundles, you haven't checked them out, make sure you check out this bundle in the description box below. It is amazing. So I think it was something like $15 for the entire bundle, and you get so many different sketch ideas. So now that I've got a mat chosen for a couple of these, I think I end up changing these as I go through, and I didn't end up using that blue mat for both of those photos. I decided I wanted to use something different for each picture. So I'm just going to go in and cut this floral paper for one of those 3x3 photos. And I am cutting the photo mats at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then the 4x4 mat, I cut at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And for the 2x2 picture, I cut the mat at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Another thing I wanted to mention too is that Allison's sketches include all of the measurements. For example, how many inches from the edge of the paper will the photo be, and so on and so forth, which I think is really awesome because sometimes it's hard to visualize that measurement when you're working on a project. And so I just think it's super smart to start with a sketch sometimes if you, first of all, if you're lacking mojo, or if you want to do some scrapbooking a little bit more quickly and you just want to go to that recipe book, so to speak, of a sketch idea, it does make your layouts come together really quickly. Now, the right side of the layout has 4 4x3 photos, at least the adaptation or option I'm using does. And so I've cut all of my photo mats for my photo size from white cardstock. And for each one of these different photo mat layers, then I'm just going in and measuring the mat slightly larger. So for these 4x3 photos, I wanted to make one mat for all 4 photos. So I'm going to cut that from this really pretty pink paper. Love this paper so much. It's just got a little bit of a white line detail in the background. And so I'm going to trim this where I have those pencil marks, which is going to be just slightly larger than the 4x3 photos that are going to be on this mat. And I'm just going to use, again, this amazing trimmer. I cannot say enough about that trimmer. I love it so much. And now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put these 4 white photo mats down onto this, or these 4 white photos onto the pink photo mat. Now I've got those all down there. I'm actually going to end up changing the orientation. So what in the option that I used, the orientation was as you see it here, but I ended up actually giving it a quarter turn because at this point I hadn't chosen my photos yet. So if you choose your photos after, which isn't always the way that I scrapbook, but in this case it was, I actually ended up changing this so that the photos are portrait instead of landscape. So here I'm just discerning the center of my paper just so that I can line it up. But this was all kind of for naught because I end up shifting this a quarter turn anyways. But I'm just showing you here. I always use a ruler when I'm trying to find the center for a scrapbooking layout where it's really linear. I just like things to be straight and centered. Now, what I did for each one of my photos, for all of the photos on these 2 sides, is I mapped them onto the white cardstock with some foam adhesive, and then I put that white mat onto the pattern paper mat, if that makes sense. So I did cut these photos with a border, but I trimmed the border off, and then I used that white photo mat cardstock layer for basically creating a border on the photo. So it looks like the photo has a white mat. And that then goes onto the pattern paper mat. And now I'm just going into back to the sketch to see the placement of the photos. And I'm going to go into that Poppy and Pear collection from American Crafts for the titles and the embellishments. So this was where the suggestion was for the title for the sketch. So I'm going to work with these puffy stickers firstly for creating my sketch. So that square says together is my favorite place to be, and that's going to form part of the title. And then that blessed, which is a puffy sticker, will also form part of the title pieces. I like to use a lot of different bits for titles on my projects. I think it's just fun. And if you have a gorgeous collection like this Poppy and Pear, you can totally do that. Now I'm going to place this photo in this place right here. It's about an inch and a half from the bottom and about half an inch from the right side. And then I'm going to add that 2x2 photo just over to the side as was suggested in the sketch. Now I am putting a little bit of foam adhesive down on just the left side of that 2x2 photo so that it sits in this at the same level as the 4x4 photo. And then up at the top here, I'm going to place one of my 3x3 photographs here, and then I'll offset the other 3x3 photograph just slightly to the left and lower edge of that top 3x3 photo. So love how those coordinate together, and that's just going to leave the perfect little niche for the title. And you can see that 4x4 photo at the bottom right, the top of that photo is lined up with the bottom of the lower 3x3 photo on the left side, if that makes sense. So I've got a line where those photos the top and bottom of those photos kind of line up nicely. So that just creates that nice little niche there for that puffy sticker title. And then this blessed will fit in right underneath. Now I'm going to go back over to the right side, and you can see where I've changed the orientation to portrait of these 4x3 photos. I'm going to go ahead and mount those onto the white cardstock just as I did for the left side. And now you can just see I've got this perfect little spot for an embellishment that is going to coordinate nicely with the left side. So I'm going to use this really pretty little poppy die cut from the ephemera pack from Poppy and Pear. And I'm going to use some little foliage and floral pieces in behind there as well, just to create some layers. I am using foam adhesive on all of these different bits, just to create that little bit of dimension as well. I'm going to use a little floral on the 2x2 photo down at the bottom, and another little floral where those two 3x3 photos kind of connect together in that little niche there. And again, these are all suggestions from the sketch, which I believe in the sketch Allison had stars as the motif, but of course I'm using a collection that doesn't have stars here, so you can literally use whatever icon you want where there's an icon suggestion on a sketch. So I'm going to go in now to this foam sticker sheet from Poppy and Pear. This is probably my favorite element from this collection. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to use some of these little puffy, or I should say foam hearts, to embellish a couple of little areas, or one area for sure. And then I'm going to go back to the puffy stickers and some of the other bits and pieces here to see what I want to use for other embellishments. I'm going to grab kind of another little cherry colored heart and put that up near the top. And then I'm going to grab the sweet, adorable little puffy alphas that are in rainbow colors. Love the colors of this collection, if I haven't mentioned that before, and use that as another little subtitle here. So this is going to say Watuco. So this is documenting a trip that we just took in December, a family vacation that we went on to Watuco, Mexico, and love these photos. They're so fun, and I was so excited to get so many photos on this double page spread. Now I'm going to use some of the little cardstock labels for just adding some details to a couple of the photos. So this one here says one perfect day, and then I'm going to add another one, or I added another one to that very top photo to the left side that says remember this, and that just adds a little more detail to those photo areas. Now I'm going to go into the sticker book, and I'm going to grab some stickers for my journaling areas. At the top there, that sticker says, and I'm just looking at my layout on my desk here, it says on the agenda. And I love that there's these little number circles that are perfect for journaling. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And then down in the lower left area, I put the title, the details, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. And for each one of those numbers, I'm going to put a coordinating journal strip that coordinates with the pictures that I've used on each side of this double page spread. So I'm just using my Pokey tool from Crafter's Companion here to add my numbers. And you'll just see me adding these down. I made sure that the sticker, the title sticker at the top of these numbered sections is very straight. I used my T-square ruler. I've used my T-square ruler on just about every element that I've put onto this layout to make sure that it's straight, because this is very linear. And now I'm going over to the other side. I'm going to add and sort of like imitate the embellishing from the left side, putting a poppy on here and some of the foliage. Again, I'll put a little heart sticker on here from the sticker book, and I'll also add another little tab here that says "This happened," and this is where we were having a little snack of crickets in La Crucecita, which was really fun, and I got some fun pictures of that as well. So here's the double page spread all finished up, friends. I did add some white splatter and some numbers to indicate the year that this occurred. I hope you enjoyed this. I really loved it. Please make sure that you check out all of the other videos that are part of this hop. I've linked up the other hoppers videos in the description box below, and I've also linked to Creating with Sketches, how to adapt and customize sketches to fit your needs. This is a sketchbook from Allison Davis, which is amazing. I have also linked up to the Poppy and Pear collection from American Crafts. I love this collection. It's brand new. It's going to sell out, so if you love it, make sure you grab it because it's beautiful. And there's the year 2023, which is exactly when we took this vacation. I loved working on this project. I love how these two layouts coordinate together, but they could actually be individual layouts as well. So really, really super fun. I think Allison's sketches are just works of a genius. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you have fun working on your scrapbooking projects that you have lined up for 2024. Bye, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.